how you choose the right rod and reel for beach fishing. Hi, my name's Roger Osborne. In today's video, I'm going to answer that question in detail, because the purpose of this video is to help you make the right choice and get the best value for your money when you are buying a beach fishing rod and reel or beach fishing outfit. Stick around to the end for a free PDF download which will outline some vital keys from today's session. If you're finding my videos helpful with your fishing, if it's improving your fishing, please make sure that you like and subscribe. It really helps my channel. It's absolutely free and it just helps me to get my content out to more people, and I really appreciate it. Anyway, let's get into it. It's blowing a little bit of a nor'easter this afternoon, although the weather report is for the wind to actually get light near dark, which is good. I've wandered about 1 kilometre up the beach from the main track that comes onto the beach, and you know what? It's deserted. Where are all the people? Where are the fishermen? The tide is epic. It's a high tide 1 hour before dark. The seas aren't too rough. So yet again, I've got the beach to myself. What can you say? Just quickly, the boot camps I've been holding, the fishing weekends have just been going off. People have been having an amazing time of instruction, catching fish and great mateship. I decided to hold one this year on the mid-north coast, which is closer to people in Brisbane, either Brisbane or Sydney. It's in an amazing area, a fishing paradise where I've spent hours and hours fishing there. It's really close to my heart. So if this is something that interests you, head on over to my website, click on Fishing Weekend, and make sure if you want to come, book it in quickly because they do sell out fast, and I look forward to seeing you there. Now, in this video today, I'm going to go through how you choose a beach rod and reel. Essentially, I want to try and keep it super simple. And I want you to think of it this way. When you go beach fishing, a light outfit or light combo, a medium combo, and a heavy combo. And really the simplest way to break that down is a light combo is for catching smaller fish, a medium combo is for catching small to medium fish, and then a heavy combo is for catching those bigger fish like mulloway or sharks or different things that might be on the beach. That's the way that I operate. I pretty much have a light outfit, a medium outfit, and a heavy outfit. And it all has to do with the type of fish that I want to catch. If I was really focusing on big fish, I wouldn't have a light outfit. I'd be using more bigger, heavier outfits that are suited for catching bigger fish. Now in today's video, I've brought 2 outfits with me. I brought a medium beach fishing outfit and a heavier beach fishing outfit. And I'm going to go through both of those and explain to you exactly what they are and why we make the choices that we make. So I think I might just jump straight into it with my medium beach fishing outfit, which I'm just going to grab. I've got it sitting here in a rod holder. This beach fishing rod is actually 9.5 feet long. I'll just confirm that. Yep. So it's 9.5 feet long and it's rated 6 to 12 kilos. So you wouldn't actually call that light. You would call that medium. I've treated myself with some new rods this season, so I'm pretty excited about that. So this is my new medium beach fishing rod. Now when you're choosing a beach fishing rod, nowadays it's so easy because they are labelled, and just above the reel seat you'll find all the details of the fishing rod. It'll tell you what the kilogram rating is, so that tells you really what weight line is best suited for the rod. It will tell you what the casting weight is, so that's how the rod performs best with the particular amount of weight that you're actually casting, which is really important. So the first thing you want to do when you're buying a fishing rod is actually decide, am I catching small to medium sized fish? Do I need a medium outfit? And then you need to pair the rod and the reel together that will have the appropriate line to catch the type of fish that you want to catch. My medium outfit really is for catching things like whiting, bream and salmon, trevally, tailor, that sort of thing. If you did hook a big mulloway, you could still land it if you were patient, but it's more for small to medium sized fish. And the line that I use on my outfit is 15-pound monofilament line. So 15 pound is approximately 7 kilos. And you'll note that this rod is rated 6 to 12 kilos. So I'm kind of at the lower range of the line rating. And the reel that I have paired with this rod is perfect for holding 15 to 20 pound line, which is what? 7 to 10 kilo line, which is right in the range which is perfect for this rod. Now I've chosen this reel specifically because I want to use 15-pound line, and when it comes to choosing fishing reels, really the size of the reel relates directly to the thickness and strength of the line that you want to use. When you're using light line, you only need small reels because the line is thinner. You don't need as big a spool or as big a capacity to fit the amount of line on. But when you start wanting to have heavier line and stronger line, that line is thicker, therefore it takes up more space on a reel and you just need a bigger reel. So really that's the simplest thing with reels. Bigger reels for heavier line for bigger fish. Bigger reels can hold heavier line, and also their drag rating is stronger, and you can set your drag stronger than you can on a small reel. So my medium outfit is only 9.5 feet long. It's beautiful. It's not heavy to hold. You can see, look at that. It's just perfect. You could stand here and fish off the beach all day, catching beautiful bread and butter species with a medium beach fishing outfit like this. So if you haven't bought a beach fishing rod or you're thinking of buying one, the first question you need to ask yourself is, what type of fish do I want to catch? How big are they? How strong are they? What weight line do I need that's appropriate for that type of fish? Then you can start looking at the type of rod that will match that line weight and the appropriate reel that will hold that line weight and the amount of distance of line that you need. Now, a little bit later in this video, I'm going to go through my heavy outfit, but I'm going to have a fish first. And I've rigged this up to fish with beach worms. Now, as I do very often, I've got a 2-hook rig. I have a 3-way swivel to a long shank hook. Then I've got a couple of feet of line down to a size 2 star sinker with a bead in front of it above the swivel. Then I have about a 40 centimetre leader to another long shank hook, and I'm going to put 2 beach worm baits on. Then I'm going to chuck my line out, but then also I want to talk about the casting weight, which is really important. And I have a specific size sinker on this rod. So I've just got a few smallish beach worms. Still good bait size. It's like threading the eye of the needle, isn't it? It's like when you're putting beach worms on, you thread the hook right down the middle of the worm. And I thread it up the line a bit to make it a nice long piece of worm, and I cut it off. So that's one bait, and now I'll hook the other one. I'm keen to get a line in the water because the water looks really good. Be really interested to see how long it takes to get a bite. These are wriggly suckers, these worms. I get quite a lot of comments about beach worms from South Africa. Man, I really hope one time that I can travel to other countries and just go hunting for beach worms. That would be cool, just to see if they actually exist in other places. I believe that South Africa is on a similar latitude to Australia, and we share the Indian Ocean with South Africa. Similar climates to a lot of our places, and the beaches look very similar. So, although they would have been discovered by now, you would think. Anyways, so I'm going to chuck my line out, but first I will take my shoes off. The track that I walk down has lots of tree roots and sticks and sharp things that stick up. So I like to wear shoes and protect my feet till I get to the beach. There's a beautiful little trough straight in front of me. So there's a fantastic trough with a sandbar directly behind it. It's a fair bit of white water, but it's quite deep close to shore. It actually looks very fishy. So we'll see how long it takes to get a bite. in this situation here, I don't have to cast out very far to get into some reasonably deep water. And then I love it when there's a sandbar creating wash directly behind a gutter. I love that setup. I like to cast onto the sand and then pull it back into the deep water. So I find that the fish certainly move into these areas as the tide comes in. And at the moment, high tide is in about 30 or 40 minutes. Now, talking about the casting weight of rods, this particular rod is, the casting weight is recommended 25 grams to 75 grams. The sinker that I have on is a size 2 star sinker, and that weighs 55 grams. So the weight of that sinker is roughly halfway between, hang on, just had a nibble then, is halfway between the 25 to 75 recommended casting weight. So I'm certainly not too heavy, and beach worms are a really super light bait, so they're not adding a lot of extra weight. I just need to hook a fish. I think I might have a whiting or a brim. Oh, look at that. That's a beautiful whiting. How good's that? First cast. We love whiting in my house. So that's great. Look at that. That's a beautiful fish. I love whiting. They are an amazing fish. They're not huge. They certainly get bigger than this. But he's well and truly over legal size. But oh, so sweet, so delicious to eat. Well, that's exciting. I want to get my bait straight back out there. Well, that was good. It's always good to get a fish fairly quickly, first cast. So I whacked this out in a similar spot. Actually, I landed on the sandbar then, so I probably want to pull it back towards me a little bit. Just over the edge of the drop-off. So I was actually, before I got rudely interrupted by that fish, I was talking about casting weight. That's a big thing, because if the amount of weight, your overall weight of your sinker and your bait, is too heavy, your rod doesn't work very well. It's not built for that. You need to stick within those limits. So when I've got a sinker of 55 grams and just a super light worm bait, I'm right in those parameters that the rod is recommended for. And it also means that I can put a bit of punch and a bit of effort into my cast, because I don't have too much weight on there. I can lay into it and I'm not going to damage the rod. The rod's gonna, getting a bite. The rod's gonna perform really well. I hope I get more bites actually. Oh yeah, beautiful. What is it this time? That's the question. Feels a little bigger. Don't you love beach fishing? How good is it? I think it's a brim myself. That's what it feels like. Not a huge one, but oh, he's all right. Still, he's big enough to eat. Woohoo! Yo-ho! I love beach fishing. Look at that. Now that brim is probably about 29 centimetres. Legal limit's 25, so it's just a good size to eat actually. So it's obviously a really good session pretty quickly, and I'm going to get some lovely fish to take home and eat, which is awesome. And I was talking about the casting weight, so we'll continue on that a little bit longer. I'll put another bit of worm on. But you need to pay attention to what it says on the rod. because when your rod, it actually makes your fishing so much more enjoyable when you're in the sweet spot and everything's functioning the way it's designed to function. I know what it's like to have too much weight on a rod. Believe me, I've tried everything. And when you've got your sinker is too heavy and your bait's too heavy, it's just, certainly doesn't feel right, and you can't cast. Just because you've got a bigger sinker, you can't cast further. You actually cast further if you have the right balance of weight that you're casting. So let's chuck it out again and see if we get a whiting or a brim again. If I wanted to, I could really lay into this and put in a hard cast, and the rod and the reel would totally handle it. So I mainly use off the beach size 2 and size 3 star sinkers in the area that I fish. So the size 2 is 55 grams. A size 3 star sinker is about 80 grams. So that would be too much weight for this rod. Ideally, a sinker in the realm of about 40 or 50 grams is perfect for this rod. But if I go to my heavier rod, an 80 or 100 gram sinker, no problem, because it's built for it, and I can put a lot of power in it and it won't hurt the rod, and it'll perform really well. Now, I had a look at this spot today. I came down and checked out the beach a few hours ago from up on the headland. I was looking to see where the deep parts were, where the holes and gutters are. So I'd kind of earmarked this spot, and it meant that I had to walk about a K up the beach. But you can see already within 2 casts, I've got 2 nice eating fish. So it's absolutely worth me walking along the beach. It was really the best looking water that I could see. I'm getting a bite again. Just gonna wait. Yep. Whoa. Have I still got it? Yeah, what have I got? I might not have it, or I've got something small. Yeah. I had a stick. I lost a fish and picked up a stick. But you can see my top bait is pretty much gone. I had the fish on for a minute, but then it obviously wasn't hooked very well. It got off. So I've had a bite pretty quickly every cast so far. Just going to wait for this little wave to subside. I'm casting fairly low and flat because of the wind. The nor'easter really hasn't dropped off. Hang on, I'm getting a bite already. I'm a bit trigger happy. You know, it doesn't even matter if you live in a busy city like Sydney. You can find your own little spots along the beach. When I lived on the northern beaches, I deliberately didn't fish the beaches where everybody normally goes. Only because all the beaches have fish. And you can find places to yourself and just have an amazing time. I think I better check my bait. Haven't had any more bites. I've got a fish actually. I've had a fish that whole time. I actually had a fish on, I didn't realise it. Oh, I just lost my whole rig. Sheesh, what happened there? I've got my top hook, I've lost the bottom half of my rig. The end of the line doesn't have a little squiggle on the end, which would indicate that the knot came undone. It's really strange. That's frustrating because it means wasted time having to re-rig. Oh well, anyway, I'm going to do that, then we'll get back into it. So I've re-rigged and I've rebaited. I'm ready to cast out again. I'm going to have a couple more casts and then I'll start going into the details of my heavy beach fishing rod and just talking about that a little bit, about weights and baits and different things. and just in general, more about selecting a fishing rod and selecting a fishing reel. Now, I actually rigged up before I came down here because it's so enjoyable when you can walk straight down the beach, put a bait on and chuck it out, and you're not spending time rigging. But because I often use 2-hook rigs, they're harder to pre-make and carry. So I normally have one rigged up ready to go, but in this case I had to start again or just rebuild the rig that I had. Now, I reckon there's fish everywhere out there, so I don't think it'll be very long before I hook something. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of the wind is almost going sideways. But it's not prohibitive to fishing, that's for sure. I think when it's like this, normally what I like to do is I like to cast into the wind, upwind a little bit, and fish on the same angle that the wind is coming, so I'm actually facing into the wind. At the moment, I've got a big bow in my line, which I'd rather not have, but while my bait's out there, I'll let it sit there for a minute, and I ended up casting it back out again. All right, just had a couple of nibbles. I'm just going to wait because I had a couple of whacks then. And I do have 2 baits out there. Come back wherever you are. Usually when you get a bite, you'll get another one fairly quickly, but yeah, I'm getting a bite again. Come on. Take the bait. Have I got some weed or something? There's no obvious weed in the water, but I think there could be the odd piece of weed out there. Yeah, that's what it is. Just let that surf the wave in. Alrighty. Okay, well, I had a bite fairly close to shore then. I cast my line out and I was gradually working it back to shore. Obviously I got a bite close to shore, but oh, I don't have a fish. That was a fake fish. On my top bait, that worm has really been kind of ravaged. Okie dokie. Now, when I did the Q&A recently, I had people could email me questions, and I had a question from a guy named Dimitri. G'day, Dimitri. How are you, mate? Dimitri was asking me, first of all, what area do I fish? Well, I live in Ulladulla, Dimitri, so I fish the beaches on both the north and the south side of Ulladulla, down as far as Borley Point and Kyola, generally, and as far north as Bendalong and Lake Conjola. It's a wonderful stretch of coast. And you wanted to know if I knew anything about Bingy, the area where you bought a house. Well, Bingy is just near Churros Heads. Fantastic area. You've got some really good beaches down there. You can catch beach worms down there as well. And you mentioned that you want to buy a heavier beach fishing rod. Hang on. Yep. So definitely a bite that time. You just have to excuse me for a minute, Dimitri. Sorry about that. It could be a salmon. I haven't caught one of them yet. Oh, it's getting washed in by the wave. Look at that. Oh, no. It's another beautiful whiting. Oh, I'm happy about that. This one's a bit bigger than the last one. Yeah, so that one's, yeah, it's a little bit, a couple of centimetres bigger than the first whiting. I better get the bait off and get another bait out there really quick so I can get some more whiting. Okay, back to Dimitri. Hey Dimitri, you also mentioned that a few people have said to you that salmon aren't any good to eat. Don't listen to that. Check out my video on Australian salmon, and especially the one where I'm cooking it. We eat them a lot, they're awesome. And I guarantee any person who doesn't like salmon, if I cooked it for you, you would love it. It's amazing. I remove all the bloodline and the flesh is epic. Now Dimitri, in a second I'm going to go through my heavy outfit, which is perfect. And I'll explain that to you. It might help you in your purchase of a heavy beach fishing rod. Once, of course, I've just fished this cast, see if I get any more bites. I can see a pod of dolphins out the back. It's a bit hard to see them because of the all the chop and the wind. Hang on, I'm getting a bite again. Come on, whiting. Maybe I should start talking again, because then I'll get a bite. Those dolphins are moving really quickly. They're heading north. I might talk quickly about fishing reels and purchasing the right reel. Now when it comes to buying a fishing reel, the first question you need to ask is, what type of fish do I want to catch? And what is the appropriate breaking strain line do I need? Are they small fish like whiting or bream where I don't need heavy line? We're really off the beach, I don't want to use any more than about 15-pound line, because that's perfect for catching whiting and bream. Well, if that's what you want to do, you need to get a reel that will hold enough 15-pound line. Generally you want about 200 meters of line on your reel. So you need a reel that's big enough to hold 200 to 250 meters of 15-pound monofilament line. So you buy your reel really based on the strength of the line that you need and the weight and size of the fish that you want to catch. That's exactly why I've got this reel. It has approximately 250 meters of 15-pound monofilament line on it. So it's exactly perfect for what I want to use it for. Now, if I happen to hook a 10-kilo mulloway on this, I would be able to land it. It would be it'd be exciting and it would take a while, but you'd achieve it. But if you're really wanting to target bigger fish and you need stronger line, then you're going to need a bigger reel to hold the right amount of line. So if you did want to target mulloway, for example, and you might potentially hook a 20-kilo fish, a 25-kilo fish, you're going to need a reel that can hold at least 250 meters of 15-kilo or 30-pound monofilament line. So you need a much bigger fishing reel, and then of course you'll need a bigger fishing rod which is stronger, which is rated for that type of line. So I hope this is helping. It's actually not difficult, it's really quite simple. You think about what type of fish you want to catch, and you can certainly do some research once you've decided what you'd like to catch. Do some research around really the right type of line, whether you're using monofilament or braid. Braid's fine. I like braid. I use both mono and braid. So I've had my bait in the water now for just the last couple of minutes while I've been talking, without having a bite yet. So I think I need to actually finish this cast in a minute, and then I'll go and get my heavy outfit and we'll have a look through that. Otherwise it'll get dark soon. I think I'll leave my line out as a set line while I'm going through my heavy outfit actually. That way a fish can potentially catch itself, and I can do that before it gets to I lose light. This is my new heavy beach fishing outfit. I'd call it like heavy. You could go slightly heavier, but it's beautifully balanced. This is actually a 13-foot rod. I've gone up a foot. I normally use 12-foot rods. I've gone for a 13-foot rod because I may do some slide baiting with this, and the extra height helps. Now this particular rod, as I mentioned, is 13 feet long, and the line rating is 12 to 20 kilos. And the reel that I'm using is spooled with 15-kilo line. So you can see that the recommended line rating for the rod is 12 to 20, and I'm using 15-kilo line. So I'm within that range. And the reel I'm using is a large spinning reel, which can obviously hold a generous amount of 30-pound monofilament line. This is actually a 14,000 size spinning reel. However, different brands have different their sizes are slightly different. Doesn't matter whether it's an 8 or a 10,000 or a 14,000. It's just got to have the line capacity to fit the line that you want. And you can see this is perfectly balanced. This is fantastic. This rod and this reel with the 30-pound mono. I could land just about anything off the beach with 30-pound mono. I have caught some really big fish using this outfit. And I'll just have a look at what the cast weight is, because I did check it earlier, but the cast weight is... Am I getting a bite? Oh, got a fish. That rod is bending a bit. Have I got a fish? It could be just a piece of weed, you know, because I can see some weed moving into this gutter that I'm fishing, which is not all that exciting. So this could just be a piece of weed. It feels like weed. That's annoying, but I'll chuck it straight back out again. I'll just work it in. Yeah, it's a piece of weed. But there's a bit of current out there, so that's why the rod bent. The current was pulling the weed. But you don't know, so I had to pick the rod up. There could be a fish mixed in with some weed. Sometimes that happens. Even when you've got weed on your line, use the waves to help bring it in, and don't overly bend your rod or strain your rod. It's great to use the momentum of the waves. It really helps. Now I can see that there's weed moving in, which is not an exciting thing when you're fishing off the beach, but I can still see some clear water, so it still should be good for catching another fish or two. Oh. I'll just quickly throw a couple more bits of worm on here, and then we'll go back to my heavy outfit. Okay, woohoo! Just got to make sure that I set my drag so that if something takes it, I can pull a little bit of line. Okay, this time we want to fish, not weed. So back to the casting weight of this heavy outfit, it's about 70 to 200 grams. Yeah, that's what the casting weight is, 70 to 200 grams. So that means normally I would use a size 3 star sinker, which is 80 grams. Then if I used a large bait like a small mullet or a big piece of squid or a fillet, my total casting weight may be about 150. And the range for this rod is 70 to 200, so that's pretty cool, it's perfect. I could use a size 4 star sinker if I needed to. Size 4 star sinker weighs about 110, 120 grams. So I could use a size 3 or size 4 star sinker with this. I'm happy with the 30-pound line. I don't think I really would want to go heavier, because really you can land a big fish with 30-pound line. So this is my heavy beach fishing outfit, and I can't wait to put it through its paces. I don't actually have it rigged up right now. I could rig it up. Believe it or not, I've actually got 3 live mullet in my bucket. I carried them all the way along the beach until my hand was shaking. But yeah, maybe I'll have a cast. I just have to rig it up first. Anyways. Now, if you guys have got questions, please put them in the comments. About rods, reels, or anything that I'm talking about in this video, and I will answer your questions. I had a question from William. Hey William. William was asking me what beaches in Sydney are good for catching beach worms. And I hear, William, that you drive all the way to Seal Rocks to catch beach worms. And it is really good for beach worming up there. But really, most of my life was spent catching beach worms between Manly and Palm Beach. I did a lot of beach worming on the Collaroy to Narrabeen stretch. It's a very good beach worming beach. Most of the beaches on the northern beaches have worms. It does vary, because depending on the ocean conditions, sometimes there's good worming on a beach, but after a big sea it could change. and you might have to go to a different beach. But pretty much all the beaches, there's a good concentration of beachworms on the northern beaches. I'm not so familiar with the beaches on the south side like Maroubra and Cronulla. I do have fishing friends at Cronulla who catch beachworms there. So guys, if you've got more questions, I'm not going to be doing the emails for the time being. The next time I do a live, I'll have an email open. But if you've got questions at the moment, if you could put them in the comments, that would be fantastic. I'm hoping to catch another bream or whiting actually. For some reason it's gone just a little quiet. I did lose that other fish that took the bottom half of my rig, and I've had a few bites, but still those two nice whiting and a bream, that's pretty good. Yeah, I got a fish, beauty. Woohoo. Happy I've got a fish, awesome. Could be a bream, I think. Could even be more than one. Hang on, I think I saw something jump. Is it a salmon? Haven't caught a salmon as yet tonight. It is tracking sideways a little bit, so that's typical of a salmon. It's just on the edge here. What have we got? We got two fish, a bream and a salmon. Look at that. The double whammy. It's a bream and a salmon. Stop flipping around. I'm gonna let this salmon go and okay, he's got off the hook for me. That's cool. I carried this mullet all the way 1 kilometre down the beach, so I might as well chuck him on my heavy outfit. So I've put the largest star sinker on, got a decent size hook. I'm going to pin him down here. There's a number of ways you can put him on, but he'll be fine there. I'm going to whack him out. I won't need to cast him all that far because the deep water, this little gutter is close to shore. We'll see if there's anything in there that wants to eat him. Now, you know, there's obviously no way you could do that with my my medium outfit. It's just not built for tossing a big bait like that and a heavier sinker. But this rod handled that beautifully. It actually cast out really well. I got a pretty good distance, not that I needed to get all that far. I could stand here and hold this line, but I'm tempted to whack it in my rod holder and hold my other line with the worms and let this mullet do the work, just for 15 minutes or so. Because, you know, if there happened to be a mulloway lurking in that little gutter there, you know, it would be awesome. Oops. Oh. I pulled a bit of line then. Oh, it just got off. It was ripping line out and it got off, so that's interesting. Hey, look, this is getting hammered again. Look at that. What is happening out there? It might be Taylor. This mullet was getting, I actually think some Taylor have probably moved in. And that mullet's probably gone. Because that was quite erratic. I'm going to check the bait. That was really erratic. I threw this live mullet out and the rod was just violently shaking. Usually the bait fish, when a predatory fish comes around, they just freak out. So we'll see if I've got any bait left, if it's been bitten in half or whatever. No, there's no bait. I have 2 smaller mullet in there. Oh man, my line is frayed, really frayed. In fact, right along my leader, the entire length of my leader is ripped to shreds. So I actually can't put another bait on that. I'd have to put another leader on because that line's no good. If you'd like a free PDF download of some vital keys from today's session, hit the link in the corner or in the description below. I trust this video has been helpful in just giving you a bit more information about making the right choice of rod and reel for beach fishing. Please let me know with any questions you have in the comments. I'd have a great time. It's beautiful down here. I've got a lovely feed of fish, and the weather is actually starting to pack it in. There's massive clouds behind the hills. It's starting to rain, so I'm going to head home. I've had some excitement with those mullet, so I wouldn't mind coming back and having another go tomorrow actually. But anyway, it's been awesome. So thank you so much for joining me in another session. I look forward to seeing you all really soon.